WB Games.
In the land of Mordor.
Narration over black screen.
It was here, on the slopes of Mount Doom, that the Dark Lord Sauron was defeated by a last alliance of men and elves.
Game opens up with suspiciously similar narration to Peter Jackson's Fellowship of the Ring film. To sin or not to sin? Well, I guess the only question remains is, what would an asshole do? So, does Troy Baker have a clause in his contract in which any video game character he voices has to somewhat resemble him? The man's power and influence has gotten out of control. This game's plot is basically a standard tale of revenge, fully embracing the dead family for motivation cliche.
Dear host, remember your training!
The remember your training trope.
Go find your mother. Go find your mother. Keep her safe. I'll be right behind you. Go.
Splitting from the group plot cliche, and for no apparent reason either. I mean, Talion and his son have already eliminated all the Uruks in this area, so there's no reason for him to stay behind. I love me some booty, but I am calling it some major bullshit right here. No woman in Middle-earth is that thick. They don't even know about the phrase drop it like it's hot. Video game cliche number 27. If the game is not based around stealth, you can bet your ass there's gonna be some random stealth segment somewhere in the game.
The Black Hand wants him alive!
The hammer then proceeds to strike Talion square across the face with his mace, and for some reason doesn't instantly kill him, so for that it's getting a sin.
What is this place?
See for yourself.
You know, you could just tell him it's the Wraith World. You don't need to be so coy about it. It's not like it's a secret or anything. Ah, good old tower region unlocks. I really hope this formula dies out someday, but that's looking more and more unlikely as time goes on. Game rips off the leap of faith from Assassin's Creed. And seeing as how this game was at one point in time criticized for outright plagiarism by the senior gameplay coder of Assassin's Creed 2 himself, I'd be very curious to see how many other similar sins we come across. Video game cliche number 10. Destroy 4 of anything to progress to the next objective. Ah, so this is what it's like playing Hanzo on brain dead mode. I see the game adopts the mediocre Batman Arkham combat system. Yeah, that's right, I said it. Mediocre! It was only tolerable in those games because it was applicable. No matter what anybody says, mashing buttons with the occasional counter is not good game design. You had the chance to create a brand new combat system with sword fighting, and you blew it. You fools!
I don't understand why I'm here. And I can't remember.
Amnesia, one of the most banal, overused methods of storytelling in video games. It's just a cheap and easy way to present backstory and connect the player to the protagonist so that both of them can experience the game in parallel. It is far too formulaic and has got to go. Inexplicable zipline out of nowhere! Stealth grass, quickly becoming one of the most contrived gameplay mechanics in recent memory. Although it is one that I quite enjoy, just because I like something doesn't mean it's not a sin. And it's an auto stealth, even though we have a manual crouch button.
Ha! I finally caught up with you! I had to cross Mordor is over!
These absolutely ridiculously terrible Australian accents.
Oi! I finally found you, you silly rotten schrock! I'm gonna take pleasure in tearing you limb from limb!
Stupid game mechanic makes Talion either walk really slow or infinitely sprint really fast, thus causing imbalanced gameplay. Wraith Vision, otherwise known as the Sixth Sense mechanic. Hey, I enjoy a good built-in cheat system as much as anybody, but it's time to start calling it what it is: lazy game design. Rewarding players for putting in little to no effort, and that, by all accounts, is a sin. That actually counted as a stealth kill. Here's a sin that I'm not surprised went over everyone's head. Mirian is the currency here, however there is no trade system of any kind implemented in the game. There's no shop to buy goods from, there's no merchant to sell you items, there's no marketplace to exchange anything of value. So who, what, and where are you purchasing these upgrades from? This is the closest thing to teabagging as you're gonna get in this game.
These Ithilden.
Celebrimbor mispronounces Ithilden here when he correctly pronounced it earlier.
I see in Star Moon like Ithildim.
Well, this doesn't bode well.
Don't you see? The prisoner created a distraction.
What distraction are you talking about? The prisoner never diverts any Uruks away from this area. In fact, he completely disappears after this scene ends, and then you're tasked with eliminating 4 archers.
So you didn't die 10 years ago?
Well, obviously. You didn't recognize him when the Uruks were pummeling him? Oh, hello there, obligatory fan service and forced cameo. Some rather questionable AI design choices.
These tracks are not quite human.
Those are clearly human-shaped footsteps. I'm more concerned with how Gollum is able to climb up walls without leaving any handprints. Apparently, the One Ring can also help the user defy gravity. Yeah, this isn't always the case. You can tap X all you want, but since the controls fluctuate in their response time, the Caragor may end up hitting you anyway.
Precious. It showed us. It showed us treasures of the Bright Master.
No more riddles.
Yes, we swears. We swears to serve the Bright Master. We takes him to his treasures.
Well, that's quite a retcon. Not only is Gollum basically just a mission guide in this game, but he's also going to serve an elf lord whom he never knew about since the One Ring was forged by Sauron in secret and Celebrimbor only helped craft the 3 elf rings. This would be perfectly acceptable if the developers were making their own non-canon story. But since they attempt to remain faithful to the lore, this is getting counted as a sin. The rule of 3 cliché permeates this game, so much so that I'm just going to go ahead and add 10 sins for how much of it you'll encounter. You are leaving the mission area will always be a failure of game design.
Man, swine! Swine! Shall I say goodbye when you fall and die after I pluck out your eye? Ranger, come close if you want the Black Hand.
How does Ratbag even know about Talion's pursuit of the Black Hand? This is their first time meeting each other, and Ratbag was never around when Talion rescued the slaves from Gimub.
Ratbag can teach you the ways of the Orc. Ratbag can make your plan work.
Oh, you mean the plan that he's never once mentioned in this entire conversation? The inconsistent traits of some of the Uruk captains. How can one be a Caragor tamer while also having the fear of Caragors as their weakness? RNG at its finest, baby! Follow missions. A frequent nuisance. Uruks don't fight back if you grab them. Then again, a little detail like that is probably just me setting my standards too high.
Goroth will kill you if he catches you napping. Goroth never comes here. He's always by the hunting camp.
Convenient overheard dialogue. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you all the only reason why this game deserves any sort of praise. The Nemesis system. I contest it is one of the most unique and innovative gameplay mechanics in the modern age. I hope to see more of it in different games, and this is certainly a step in the right direction. -5 sins.
I need you to take a body back to my tent. I'm gonna get me a trophy. Get lost, scum! We only take orders for Goroth.
Considering the violent power struggle that occurs between the Uruks, it's surprising that these two don't immediately kill Ratbag for claiming to kill Goroth. But supporting characters gotta support. Random spawning enemies.
You call this a duel? No! I call this losing a duel, you glob!
So, an execution? Duel refers to a contest between 2 people carrying deadly weapons. Ratbag is clearly being taken prisoner. Sorry, did my nitpicky nature get the best of me again?
Ranger! Oh, well, now that's what I call teamwork, eh?
You did nothing!
Go before I change my mind.
What about our deal?
Deal is over.
Yeah, but the whole deal was for Ratbag to help you find the war chiefs, which you have not done yet.
Watch this. Once the war chief hears of my victory, he'll make me his personal bodyguard.
Yeah, but isn't the war chief you plan on bodyguarding the twin of the captain Talion just killed? Isn't that a bit counterproductive? Who in the hell makes a path like this? An obsessive-compulsive level designer, that's who.
Why do we chase these dreams? They offer no answers, only more questions!
These are not mere dreams. With each vision, my power grows stronger.
And this is why amnesia is a substandard overused plot point in video games. It's just a cheap tactic in order to shroud the past of the protagonist, or in this case the deuteragonist. And once they've obtained all the required items, so shall their power be restored. Man, you guys went all the way back to basics on this one.
Your friend is either a liar or a coward.
Maybe it was you threatening his life.
Except Talion never threatened to kill Gollum. He merely choked him when he thought Gollum was escaping him.
A Grog. I need at least 20 men to bring that beast down.
Fun fact, you could actually kill a Grog within the first 10 minutes of playing the game. So this statement is not only a moot point, but inconsistent with the plot. This game is going to try to convince us that Celebrimbor crafted all the rings of power, when instead it was just the 3 elf rings. The other rings were created by the elven smiths, whom he led. Come on, man. This is basic Lord of the Rings lore. How did you manage to fuck this up?
You've been very bad, Uruks. Tut tut tut!
Effeminate Uruks. That's a rather ineffective way of hanging somebody. Shouldn't you tie their arms behind their back so they don't escape?
Ratbag is war chief!
Maybe my short-term memory loss is starting to kick in, but why exactly does Ratbag want to become war chief? Especially when he just got captured not that long ago and being a war chief would only make him a bigger target. Beyond his deal with Talion, he really has no purpose of becoming a war chief. Whatever the hell this is.
You're not worth the nicks you put in my blade.
Well, game uses the throwing knives from Assassin's Creed. Yep, even the exact same animation.
Man filth! Shall I say goodbye when you fall and die? After I pluck out your eye!
Repeated captain intros. That's what happens when you rely too much on RNG.
Slaughter in stealth to bring out this war chief.
But if you slaughter in stealth, how would the war chief know when to appear? Game does not take into account any of the slaves that you might have freed up until this point, nor any of the slaves that Hirgon freed in the first story mission. Also, this slave looks like a dollar store Nico Bellic. Jump scare? Really? Especially when the lighting already showed a head on a spike?
We obtained some valuable information from this one. Before he lost his head.
How? You don't have any wraith powers that can dominate their will.
What need have I of blasting powder?
It's all part of the plan, my friend.
A plan that I never bothered to share with you in the first place.
So anxious to find the Black Hand. And by all means, I will take you to him.
Except you don't know where he is. In fact, the very plan that you're forming is being used to draw him out. Erin is being held prisoner, but as we can clearly see, she is not in shackles.
You saw what these monsters are capable of. It is madness to stay here.
Yes, but circumstances have changed. Don't you see we have him on our side now?
Why would he want to help us? Weeks ago, he was our enemy.
Hirgon and Erin play the pronoun game, and I'm honestly confused. Who are they talking about? They're talking about Talion? Talion was their enemy a few weeks ago, even though in the beginning of the game, Talion hadn't seen Hirgon in 10 years?
So you didn't die 10 years ago. Fine. I'll take it and I'll finish this.
Not without me, you won't.
Thought your only concern was saving your wife.
So did I.
Yeah, but the plot demands I stay just a little bit longer. No worries, I'll be out of sight in no time. This message that keeps popping up saying that Hirgon is taking damage, as if he's not an armed warrior capable of defending himself. Boy, this objective is a double dose of fail. The dreaded escort mission and a defend your position segment. The back of the cart isn't burning here, but when the scene transitions to a cinematic, it is. The cart sets off a chain reaction when there were no other explosives attached to this monument.
Hold, brother. He wants the Grave Walker.
The Black Hand has come.
One of his minions. He was sent here to hunt us down.
So if the Black Captains were already searching for Talion, what was the point in destroying the monument in order to draw them out?
War Chief Ratbag.
Fortunately, you are still alive.
The game pulls that old trick of making you think that a character is dead when they turn out to still be alive. The reason it's a trick is because Ratbag's body completely disappears after this scene ends.
Now, bring me the head of this Grave Walker.
Claim the head yourself.
Ding dong! Main protagonist here, just in time to answer your call.
Claim the head yourself.
Ranger from the Black Gate.
Wait, why do you sound surprised? You were there when he was sacrificed. You personally bludgeoned him. Who the hell else could it have been?
How does your vengeance taste, Talion? Is not the darkness sweet?
The Hammer has been calling Talion Ranger this entire time, but only near death does he refer to him by his real name.
Lady Marwyn, Queen of the Shore, wishes an audience with you. She has seen visions of your misfortune.
queen who sees visions.
Talion doubts that a queen has visions when Lothariel just got done telling him that the queen knew of his location.
My mother said you would be here. And here you are. She wishes to make him an offering.
And what is this offering?
That is all I know.
Sending a messenger without a specific message.
I must gather provisions. The return to Nurnen is long and treacherous.
Luckily for us, it's just a fast travel away and we can get there in no time. Gotta love that Middle-earth magic.
Very soon, the Dark Lord and his army will march all over Mordor, but a great power can be awakened to prevent it.
And with this great power, there will be no ring crafted in order to wield it. Rather, it will be the hammer that forged the rings that was apparently created by Sauron himself.
What is your mother's affliction?
No one knows. She worsened after her travels.
We later find out that she's being possessed by Saruman, which is basically a rehash of what he did to the Theoden King. Well, hello there, fan service. Nice to see you again.
By Gondor! What is that creature?
Why does Talion act so surprised at a ghoul matron when he's already fought multiple ghouls countless times? It's just a larger ghoul.
Ranger, take cover!
Saving the hero in the nick of time cliche. Also, take cover where? He's in a fucking cave. First person point of view critical plot moments.
I'm Torvin, the Beast Hunter.
What you hunt does not interest me, Master Dwarf.
Hey, Talion, do you have short-term memory loss as well? Did you forget about the dwarf that Marwyn told you to seek?
Take the elven craftwork from the ghouls and find the dwarf.
The same dwarf that you're talking to?
Your power begets followers, willing or otherwise.
An orc army.
How do I do this?
Your answers are in the fortress nearby, but what you seek may not be there for much longer.
The queen refers to a couple of men holding another heirloom. However, as soon as that mission begins, Talion can brand orcs. He doesn't need to touch the heirloom first. There's no ritual he needs to endure in order to summon the power. It's just, here you go. You made it to this point in the game. Here's your power. It's like, who the hell needs the One Ring when I can just summon this power out of thin air? Wow, who knew that Celebrimbor, a blacksmith, had such immaculate combat prowess? It's almost as if he was incapable of being captured and tortured by Sauron himself. Oh well, let the bullet time ninja elf montage continue. Please, game. Celebrimbor able to engage in single combat against Sauron himself? You are really pushing it.
So tell me, Captain, have you ever hunted a grau?
Well, yeah, I guess. I've already killed a Graug at this point, so this lesson you're going to provide is kind of meaningless.
I should do just fine. I've been trained very well.
My dog, Silver, was trained very well. That was before she got eaten by a warg.
Comparing a dog to a former ranger of the Black Gate who is now part wraith. Not quite a fair comparison.
First lesson of Caragor hunting. Do not die.
Wow, thanks for the advice, Captain Obvious. Got any other life-altering tips, like eat when I'm hungry?
What do we need them for?
We ride him. A worthy mount for a dangerous hunt.
Yeah, mounting a Caragor. You know, that skill you could have unlocked at the beginning of the game, therefore making this entire tutorial pointless?
That's about the same time it took me to tame one. You might be a natural, Captain.
Clearly doesn't recognize the glowing blue eyes, hence not a natural ability to tame a Caragor. Quick time events. The power of the ring compels you! This boss battle with the legendary Graug is disappointing. It's just one of those boss battles where you gotta shoot him in the head while he's charging at you, and then it disorients them while they crash into a wall, and then you finish the job. Very trite indeed. Broken AI.
Next time I'm not gonna let you have all the fun.
Oh, no. This is the last time. I have other prey to pursue.
Well, you need help on your journey, so what you say? We put some
No,
shadows...
Torvin. I have to do this on my own.
Yes, Torvin, I'm gonna do this on my own, but first I'm gonna dominate a few dozen orcs and recruit them into my army so that we could fight the forces of Sauron. But yeah, totally doing this solo.
I've seen how much a dwarf can drink! I do hope our paths cross again.
Sorry, Torvin, no dwarves allowed in the sequel.
You haven't told me what you want in return.
Only that you learn what you are truly capable of. Find an orc leader, make him a war chief, and all his soldiers will be yours.
Yeah, but shouldn't he brand the other orcs as well? I mean, it wouldn't make much tactical sense if the unbranded orcs find out that their war chief is just some puppet for an undead ranger. Knocks down Lothariel to prevent interference, doesn't do so when she actually goes to break the staff.
What have you seen in your visions?
I have seen Sauron's servants, the tower, and the Black Hand. They bring much suffering.
Their forces. How strong?
Strong enough to defeat us all.
Well then, strange how they never flat out invaded after the hammer never returned while investigating the destruction of Sauron's monument. Bootleg Sweet Tooth.
Attacking the camp would be ill-advised.
He's on our side.
But I never bothered to inform you that he's an ally.
We found this message. Orc leaders plan a gathering by the fishing village. We can prepare an ambush.
But you've already obtained the elixir, which was the entire point of this mission. There's no need for an ambush since Talion has already branded the war chiefs.
If you truly know nothing, then you're of no use to me. When you're done with her, hang her. High.
Looks like the tower is following that classic villain cliche, torturing an enemy instead of outright killing them, thus giving the protagonist time to swoop in and save the day. This objective is 3 times the fail. A rescue mission, an escort mission, and a defend your position segment.
Stay with us. My mother can help you.
I mean, he already has the power he needs and the location of the Black Captain, so I'm not really sure how much more help your mother could offer him. Unless, of course, you were going to offer him some nookie, in which case he could use it. But if that's the case, just tell him already.
Milady!
And where were you assholes this entire time? We were told all her men were wiped out, but that's clearly not the case.
How long will those orcs obey you?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that myself. That's a very important detail the game never really delves into. How many orcs can Talion dominate? How long can he keep them under his command? What is the full extent of his power? With the way you can play in the game, it's kind of a surprise nobody told the tales of Super Saiyan Aragorn.
Look at our numbers! Look at our strength!
To put this all in perspective, this is how many Uruk I fought in the final battle. This is how many Uruk I fought in one camp. See, here's the problem with the core of the Nemesis system. The game tells me to defeat my Nemesis, yet in my playthrough, this guy has never once returned from defeat. And I'd imagine it'd be the same for a lot of you. Point is, this is why you don't base one of your main features around RNG. It's never consistent.
Celebrimbor is your curse. He chose you.
Silence!
And he can release you at any time.
This is meant to be a shocking plot twist, but didn't Queen Marwen reveal that Talion was the victim of a blood sacrifice?
You are the victim of a blood sacrifice.
So you'd be quite a fool not to put 2 and 2 together. Talion is the victim of a blood sacrifice, and that's how he's able to be undead.
You said we were cursed. You deceived me.
It was Sauron's doing. This was your doing!
I should have died with my family.
I thought you wanted revenge.
How could you think Talion wanted revenge when you supposedly had amnesia that entire time, and you didn't even know what connected you to him? Well then, apparently in this timeline, Celebrimbor forged the One Ring and used it to escape Sauron. I sure hope that Tolkien isn't rolling in his grave right now.
I have a gift for you, Celebrimbor.
Final boss is a QuickTime event. Dear game developers, never ever do this. This is a cardinal sin as it does not reward the player with any payoff nor sense of accomplishment. Which is the whole point of playing video games.
This is no longer our battle. I tried fighting you. It can't be done.
Could you really rest for all of eternity, knowing that you had the chance to stop him, but did nothing?
Did you not listen to what he just said? He already tried. It can't be done. You literally saw a flashback of Celebrimbor fighting Sauron one-on-one with the One Ring in his possession, and he still lost. You are doomed to fail.
The time has come for a new ring.
Well, that's a sequel hook if I ever saw one.